1. Mississippi. Drumroll, please. Our cheapest state in America is Mississippi. Like the other cheap states, food and personal necessities are very cheap here, actually the cheapest you'll find in America. The most affordable place in the cheapest state would be Aberdeen. Here in the Magnolia State, the cost to rent or buy is about $795 a month. That's really low. It also costs far cheaper here for food, child care, health care, and every other care you can name. And, of note, Mississippi has by far the cheapest child care costs of any other state, even $150 a month less than Arkansas. 2. Arkansas. It's time we check out our second cheapest state in which to live, Arkansas, giving the South a clean 1-2 sweep of the cheapest states to live. Don't everyone jump up at once. Okay, so it's Arkansas, but what did you expect? You get what you pay for here, which isn't a lot either way. Like we mentioned with Mississippi, the core necessities in Arkansas are as cheap as you can find in America. An Arkansasian can make about $48,000 a year and spends only about $708 a month on rent or mortgages. That's probably half what you spend. 3. West Virginia. Moving on, we just got word that we're heading to West Virginia, our third cheapest state in America. While coal jobs might not be coming back soon, you might want to consider West Virginia purely for the low cost of living. Some of the most affordable places in the state include Clarksburg and Weirton. As you might expect, it's actually really cheap to live in West Virginia. That's why so many people here live here. But, for some reason, child care costs are in the top 5 in West Virginia. Is that because there's hardly anyone around to watch the kids? Maybe they just don't. 4. Tennessee. Our next stop takes us to the wonderfully cheap except Nashville state of Tennessee. We're back to some southern living. Taxes? Really low. Food costs? Really low. Housing costs are slightly higher than most of the other places on this list at about $810 a month, but that's still really low for most people watching this video, wishing their mortgage payment was $810. However, it must be mentioned that Tennessee, overall, perhaps surprisingly, is one of the most dangerous states in the nation, especially Memphis, which is one of the more dangerous big cities in America. 5. South Dakota. We're gonna ride the rails all the way up to our next cheapest state, South Dakota. In South Dakota, a family can get by pretty comfortably on about $4.200 a month in income. Housing and food will cost you about $1.300 a month total. Not too bad at all. But the real kicker is there are no income taxes in South Dakota. This means South Dakota has the lowest taxes in America. Sure beats New York, where people spend about $1,000 a month in taxes alone. Yuck. Of course, it is South Dakota. But with all your extra savings here, you can go out and buy up all of the bierock. 6. Alabama. The Alabama tide rolls into the 6th cheapest state spot for 2020. Relatively high taxes and medical care for the South prevented the state from appearing higher on our list. Here in Alabama, the living wage is about $50,000, or about $25 an hour. And if both people work, then you each only really need minimum wage jobs to live a decent life in the heart of Dixie. If it wasn't for the higher than average taxes here, and above average healthcare costs, Alabama would be in the top 5 for sure.